What's up, guys, and welcome to the finale of my Road to National series, and also, obviously, my meet recap. As you guys could probably hear in my voice, and the reason why this video is so late is because I literally got sick. Like, I came back from Memphis on Tuesday night, and Wednesday morning I was not feeling great, and then Thursday and Friday I was literally bedridden. I think I have COVID. I don't know for sure. Maybe I might have even been like sick during the competition, but I'll talk about all of that like a little bit later. The meet went about as well as I could have expected, to be honest. Maybe I expected like a little bit more from myself. Like I do think that I had more on the day, but I'll get into kind of like the details of it all as we go throughout all the lifts and even talking about leading up to the competition as well. So I weighed in at 119.54 kg. My usual walking around weight is somewhere around like 123 kg, which is about like 279 pounds. And I weighed in at, as I said, 119.54, which is 263.5 pounds. I was really targeting to weigh in at like 264, so I was a little bit below, but it wasn't that hard of a cut. Couple days up, couple days out, I just like drank more water than I usually would, and I just cut water the day of the meet because weigh-ins were at 3 p.m. I didn't drink water for that time leading up, and I lost the weight pretty easily there. So yeah, after weigh-ins, I was feeling all right. I think the major issue with this entire meet really stemmed from my squat, and I'll get into it. I did hit a 15 kg all-time meet PR, but I do think that I was on track for more. You guys might have heard the podcast where I was literally like, I'm going to squat 400 kg at this meet, the Sabado Sessions podcast that I did. And I do think that I would have been on track for not necessarily that, but maybe something like 390 to 395. But again, ahead of myself. Squat warm-ups went fine, about as expected. I didn't feel as zippy as I think I normally would. And that kind of showed particularly in my opener. I opened at 350 kilos or 771 pounds. And that was one of the shakiest workouts I've ever done on the platform. That bar felt very stable, but for some reason, like my body, like I could not, for the life of me, I don't know if I was nervous, but I could not for the life of me feel stable and secure under the bar walking out that first attempt. And it really made me panic because I was like, this is 350. I'm planning to squat like, 390 plus. How on earth am I gonna do that? And yeah, but the weight moved fine for the most part. I got 2 white lights on that one, I believe. So I just kind of got that out of my mind and kind of like tried to readjust and get my shit together really for that second attempt. Second attempt, we went up to 375 kilos. This was already a 5 kg meet PR here. And this was kind of the weight where I was like, all right, based on this, I'll really know where I'm at for the day, because it is something that I've literally never done before, except in training, literally like 2 weeks ago. And in training, it was very difficult. But in the meet here, it actually wasn't that bad. I was able to kind of like reset myself, so the workout was a lot more stable. I felt more confident with it. But even with that, it still wasn't like as easy and as zippy as my squats usually move in a meet. So we decided to take a conservative 10 kg jump, and we went with 385 kilos, yeah, which is 848 pounds. So went with that. This was hard. Like you guys probably saw on the live stream, if not on the live stream, probably on like my Instagram or in any like meet recaps or anything like that. That was one of the hardest squats that I've ever done. Like not one of it was the hardest squat that I've ever done. I really didn't expect it to be that hard. realistically, based on the strength that I had gained, kind of like leading up to the meet, the volume PRs that I hit, and even just the numbers I was handling, kind of like leading up to the meet, I really expected my top end strength to be a lot higher than it was at the meet. And I just really think it came down to me pushing myself too hard in the last two phases leading into competition. And those were the phases where I had doubles and singles on the squat. For the heaviest double, I tried to double 370 kg. And for the heaviest single, I took 375 kg. Leading into my last competitions, where I squatted 375 both times, my heaviest singles were somewhere in like the mid 700s, which is like 340, 350 kg. So it's like, I just think that maybe I pushed myself too hard and I was unable to recover from that in like the 2 week time span that I had in between those heavy lifts and the competition. So yeah, I just think squatting that heavy, that close to the meet, just isn't for me. And one of the biggest things with this competition, like not to get too much off on a side tangent here, is that I'm gathering data every time I compete, because I haven't competed for that long, for like that many times in like the last 5 years. This is my third meet in 5 years. But again, I'll get more into that at the end, right? Bench was exquisite. I think we've unlocked the formula for bench perfectly. Bench could not have gone any better. I had a 10 kg meet PR and a 2.5 kg all-time PR. I opened with, I believe, 235 kilos, 518 pounds. That moved fine, literally no complaints there. Jumped up to 252 kilos, or 556 pounds, and this matched my best meet bench right here on my second attempt. And I took a 10 kg jump to 262 kilos, or 578 pounds, and that, by my standards on bench, based on how I grind, a 10 kg PR there, and it wasn't anywhere near like RP10 for me. It was maybe more like RP 9.5. So really solid bench day, 578 pounds. And I really think that me and Sanjeev have kind of like unlocked the formula for my bench, where like I think I could easily ride this wave into a 600-pound bench. Maybe not at my next meet, definitely not my next meet, but probably sometime next year, late next year, within like a year or so, I think I'll be able to bench 600 pounds in a meet, which is insane to say. Like, yeah, that's ridiculous. But yeah, cool. So then deadlift. Now, I do think that deadlift was heavily affected by the squat. I've never grinded a squat like that before in my life, far less in a meet. If you guys look back at my Arnold's and game day performances, you'll see that my squat was always just like super easy. My third squat looked like a RP 8 every time, and this time it was like a RP 10.5. So just with that, and with the amount of weight that was on the bar for that squat as well, I do think that my deadlift was just like zapped. So deadlift didn't necessarily go great, but what we did was, in order to hit the 600 dots, which we wanted to hit, I needed to pull 876 pounds, or 397.5 kilos, right? So what we did was we took my opener from 782 or 355, and we bumped it up to 365, and I decided to jump straight from that on my opener to the plan goal. So opener went fine, no complaints there. Yeah, no complaints at all. Now on the second attempt, I had downward motion on the bar, so you can see that it was coming up fine. It was actually not even that difficult of a rep, and I would have secured the 600 dots and allowed me to put a little more weight on the bar, maybe go for something like 605 dots, 606 dots, around there. But I do think that with the combination of the squat and the platform was off. Like Matt Gary, we had the privilege of kind of like warming up with him in the warm-up room, and he took me on like a tour. Like we literally just went out and walked on the platform before like the meet started, and the platform was beat up. They used the same primetime platform for every single primetime session, and obviously the primetime session of every day is gonna have like the strongest lifters. So I do think that us being on the last day, the primetime sessions kind of like destroyed the platform badly. So it was to a point where the platform was kind of like shaky, and you can sort of see if you look back at the live stream, almost everyone who pulled towards the front half of the platform had a similar issue to what I had on that second deadlift. And then you can see on my last attempt where I was more fatigued, but I pulled towards the back of the platform, I didn't have that issue. So yeah, ended up having to retake the 397.5 or the 876 on my last attempt to secure the 600 dots. Again, I do think I would have maybe had a little bit more if I didn't have that up and down motion and drain myself out and everything like that. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna like, point any fingers or kind of like bitch about it. It's a 600 dots. I'm happy with it either way. So yeah, that meet was, I don't know, it was good, but I do feel like I have so much more to give, you know what I mean? Like I have so much more to do, I have so much more to accomplish, and I have so much more like in me, you know what I mean? With that meet, if you guys didn't see like my Instagram caption or somebody post that people had like posted about it, I was the first lifter over 75 kg to dot 600. That was the second highest 125 kg total while weighing under 120, tested or untested. It was also almost 70 kg over the IPF world record in 120 kg, and yeah, I think that's the fifth highest drug tested total ever, which is insane to say. I think the only people, the lightest person, the lightest person to have I was watching that, was actually a crazy stat. So the lightest person that has a higher total than me, drug tested, weighs 110 pounds more than me, which is insane. So it's like I don't want to sound like if like I'm like complaining, but everybody was like giving Austin Perkins a lot of like props for his performance, and by all means his performance was ridiculous, better than mine in my opinion, right? But he was getting a lot of props because he out totaled the weight class up. The only people to have out totaled me weigh 110 pounds plus more than me, 110, 140 or whatever it is, right? How am I supposed to like, I'm not gonna squat 1,000, you know what I mean? So it's weird. But yeah, I also got a check, which, shoot, I feel like I had that right here. Okay, yeah, I do it. I got a check from the USAPL for 5K. That was best dots on the day, versus Ashton, Bob, Keenan. So yeah, definitely proud of that. Proud of this meet in general. In terms of what the future holds, I have a podcast actually with Kennedy Lifts coming up this week, and I'm doing one with Sabado Sessions as well. And yeah, I don't know what the future holds. Like everybody's asking like, oh well, do I go IPF or do I, like stick USAPL and everything like that? And it's like a really tough thing to like decide on, and I'll probably make like an entire video about this again, because it's like this is not a decision I can make like lightly, not as lightly as like somebody like Ashton or Bob could make it, because there's a lot of different things that like would have to go on for me to get back to the IPF, just because of like all the shit that happened so far. So I'll probably make an entire separate video about it, but I do plan to get like super in depth with it on King of the Lifts and on Sabado Sessions, because I know both of those podcasts with Ryan and also the Sabado boys, they want me back in the IPF. You know, so yeah, no, so that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. If you guys are watching this, by the way, and you watch this far, I know a couple of you guys who were messaging me, not a couple, like a lot, who were messaging me about the new restock for the Avancos Apex Powers. They are restocking literally on Thursday of this week, so more likely when you're watching this as like in a couple of days. So yeah, tap in. Peace.